What's going on, guys? My name is Ty, and I have Gabby here with me. As always, we are Weddings Made Perfect Podcast. You could email us at weddingsmadeperfectpodcast@gmail.com. That's weddingmadesperfectpodcast@gmail.com. I almost forgot our email right there. I was just like, what is it? It's so long. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry we made that email super long. But anyways, once again, we are back here, episode 8. We're almost there. We're almost in the double digits.
It's getting there.
We're getting there.
It's getting there.
This is an awesome episode. We're going to be talking about how we're hiring weddings, photographers and videographers, and also what you should be asking them, just different questions and stuff like that. And also kind of educating you guys on what's the difference of a photographer and videographer. But to kind of backtrack, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the followings and whatnot. Once again, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, so definitely check those pages out. We just had a podcast just last week about from Jeff and Ashley from the Gateway Convention Center. They also plugged an awesome discount code for 50% off if you use the code name podcast. You could definitely get a cool discount for their upcoming show in August 8th, I believe.
Bridal show.
So definitely check that out if you guys want to. If not, once again, we're on Spotify, we're on Anchor.fm, and also we're on YouTube. So if you want to watch us on YouTube, definitely check us out. We're awesome with our hands, apparently, because I like to do a whole lot of stuff like this. So yeah, it's been really cool. Also comment on our videos if you want to comment on our post. Give us some ideas, some information and stuff like that. That'd be cool. If you guys are getting married relatively soon or upcoming, definitely give us your information on that. That's how we give you a cool shout out. We will love to start doing that. We would like to start that segment relatively soon. Yeah. Also, if you have a cool story or like a really funny story or not so good story or whatever, definitely give us it. That's how we could kind of throw that in as well. We just definitely want to do as much as we can possible that's involving weddings, not only just tips, but also just cool stories and whatnot.
Yeah. Or questions. If you have something that you're really wondering about,
exactly,
shoot them.
But anyways, that is all for me. We have an awesome sponsor. Gabby will definitely tell you guys more about that.
Yes. Weddings Made Perfect podcast is sponsored by End Events, LLC. End Events is a St. Louis-based events company that specializes in photography, videography, DJ, photo booth, event coordination, and officiating services.
I was getting so excited when I was hearing
officiation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it again.
Okay.
I still haven't looked it up, but I still don't think it's a word.
Officiation?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I think it's just officiant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going.
Anyways, you can find End Events at endevents.com. That's ENDY events.com. And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram at End Events as well.
Check them out. They're really cool guys. Seriously, check them out.
They are. Tyler, I have a tip for you today.
Oh, yes.
So today's tip is to make sure to delegate tasks to your entire bridal party. Delegate. Yes. This is your day. However, it can be really easy to shoulder all the weight on yourself or even just your maid of honor or your family even. But remember that you've created an entire team that is here for your day. They are here to help you in any way that you need. So, when you think of maybe you're putting together every single table setting or you're, hand sewing something or putting fake flowers together, grab your girls. That's what they're here for. Bring everybody over, buy a bottle of wine and some pizzas, and they will help you knock things out that might take you weeks to do when you could just have everybody over and get it done in a day or two.
The dream team.
Yes. Team bride.
Yeah. Globetrotter brides. I don't really know. Anyways, that's delegate it. That's the word of the day, apparently.
It's not officiation.
Not officiation. Nope. It's officiant. It's a delegate. But yeah, definitely do that. Make sure you're organizing all that good stuff. What Gabby said. I'm just kind of going through the motion here. But anyway, guys, hiring a wedding photographers and videographers, it's super important. After mainly the first topic you should be looking for mainly after you guys get engaged or propose, definitely the first thing you'd be looking for is like the date you want to go for. And then after that, normally time is the venue. But then right after that, you should probably start looking for a photographer and a videographer. There are two differences, which I'll kind of talk about that, like what they have offer, like what their service are and stuff like that. There's a lot of people out there still that apparently don't know what a videographer is. So we're going to kind of tap into that. That's what I do. I'm a video dude. I don't do photos. I used to, but it's just not my thing anymore. So yeah, definitely these are important. These are also services you want to probably book out a year to 2 years out because they do get booked super fast. Yeah. So definitely you want to make sure that you have the people that you want because they are going to have booked on a different date. So yeah, that's going to happen. After the booking of your venue and the date of your big day is confirmed, one of the next things you should consider looking at is hiring your wedding photographer, videographers. Once again, like I said, they can be booked up to 1 or 2 years in advance. So definitely be doing that. If someone you want to capture your day, it is important to get them booked. So like I said, they're super important. They should be the next thing on the topic for you to be booking. So when it comes to finding a wedding photographer or videographer, there are many sites that allows you to browse top wedding photographers or videographers. Also, when you find your venue, you may also find photographers that have shot at your wedding or like the venue itself. Photos on our venues are credited to the photographers who took them, so you can easily find photographers that work at your venues and view their sites. So most of the venues that you guys will go to on their sites, they will have like preferred vendors or preferred services. So what that means is there's going to be photographers or videographers that you could that are listed there that have done weddings there already. So it's cool. It's cool to actually be able to have somebody that's already shot something there because they kind of know where the things are, like where the best shots are.
Yeah.
Like beautiful places during golden hour or whatever.
Absolutely.
But also, if you don't want to pick somebody from that preferred vendor, I guarantee you the venues will allow somebody else that's not on the list. They're just kind of giving you an option of some sort. But just because somebody may have not been there does not mean they are not able to do their job. Like, I know that there's been several venues that I've been to that I've never been to before at all, but I did a very good job because the thing is we are creative people. We're going to figure out how to tackle out the day. There's also moments where I've even gone the day before where I actually gone and looked out different locations, scout them, figure out what's going to be the best thing for when the night falls and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be a good time to ask your photographers or videographers if they feel comfortable doing it, if they've ever been shot before or stuff like that.
Yeah, if they have shot there before. Sometimes if someone is asking me about our photography services and they already have a venue picked out, if we've been there before, I will suggest sending them samples so that not only they can see what our work looks like at the venue, but they can also see how the venue photographs as well at a certain time of day, if they should avoid certain places or if they really want to go outside and get a shot at this certain hour because this picture is so beautiful, etc. You can tell a lot from, a portfolio of pictures of that venue.
Yeah, exactly. And I completely agree with that. And also now to kind of go through into photographer and videographers, it is important to know the difference between the two. A wedding photographer is a photographer and is about capturing your day through images and stills, as opposed to videographers, they're capturing your day via video, creating and editing a mini movie or story of your special day. So photographers, they're going to be still photos. They're going to be capturing candid shots or poses or whatever you guys want to do. Video is a video file, so meaning they're going to get footage, they're going to get clips. I know this is super basic, but for some reason, some people don't understand. So I'm just going to go down to this the basic as right now, and then we'll kind of go on from there. But a videographer's job, because you're probably asking why they're getting videos if I'm getting photos. That's a great question, and I get that all the time. What they're doing is they're capturing the day throughout from when you start and when it ends. And what they will do is they'll composite all those clips together or footage together, and they're going to create like a mini movie or like some sort of story that or like a narrative piece showing the day throughout of when you're getting your dress on to when you're walking out through the sparkler exit or leaving. So it is super cool to be able to watch that from years on in. And it's going to be a nice little heirloom to like pass down if you really want to or whatever. But the thing is, like, it's cool just to be able to experience it because you are busy throughout that whole day. You're going to forget what's going on or what's happening. And I know that there's been multiple people that I've shot their weddings, and when they're done watching the video, they're just like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Because like, there's so many things I missed because your mind is going 100 miles per hour. Not only that, but like you get the jitters, you get the, the little butterflies of that because you are marrying somebody that you truly love. So you're the first like half of the wedding, you're freaking out because you haven't done the marriage and you haven't done the actual ceremony yet. So your mind's like, what the heck is going on? Yeah. But then once that happens, then you're just like, okay, now I can relax. But really you don't, because you got to get photos done. You got to get videos done. You got to say hi to people. You got to do all this stuff. And like, there's tons of times where you guys are so busy where you don't even eat. So this gives you a chance to see the full day. So you would usually have a wedding photographer, and then you may also have a videographer as well. Some photographers may offer the service too, or be able to recommend a videographer they have worked with before. So I know I have a lot of friends that are photographers that will like recommend me or just somebody else, depending on our schedule, that you could get a video from. Now, there are some people out there that are photographers that just do their service alone, where they're able to do video and photos together. Props to those guys, because I don't have time to do that. I mean, I do know that there's been times where I've done video and the bride and groom goes, oh my God, I love your video so much. Is there a way that we get like screen grabs or stills from my videos? And that is possible. Is that considered really like a photo or like an actual still? I mean, technically yes, but like it's not going to be as great as if you just got an actual photographer, but it definitely has a quality and it holds it itself where it's going to be great. The only problem is though, is that I'm not going to be able to give you any vertical because we shoot horizontally, because you got to think you're watching this in a horizontal format, not a vertical format, meaning that I cannot flip my videos like that. So that's definitely a nice little reminder / tip of it's just not going to work like that. So many wedding photographers as well will travel. So if you're not limited to photographers that live local to you or your venue, if you are getting married abroad, then again, many will happily hop on a plane and fly over to capture your day too. I'm not going to lie. I love abroad weddings. I love to travel. So honestly, as far as I can go from where I've been shooting for years, I love it. Like seriously, it is a great experience for people like me who we shoot the same places over and over again. Like, don't get me wrong, like anybody who's getting married here locally, if you guys want me and stuff like that, like I love doing it regardless. I love shooting weddings in general. But what I'm trying to say is when you get a chance to go out somewhere that you've never been before and you have to like challenge yourself to get some cool stuff, we love that challenge. We love being able to go to new places and trying out new things. Like, for example, I want to do stuff in Colorado. The nice woodsy greens, floresty like feel to it. Like I would love to experience that. We have very limited space here because once again, we are Midwest based. So we don't really have those like type of foresty looks. That we do have like woods and we do have like, I don't know, some hiking places and stuff, but it's not as aesthetically pleasing as Colorado.
You're never going to find those mountains here.
It's just, I would love to experience that.
So what he's saying is, if you're getting married in Colorado, you can hit him up.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be awesome. But there's a Colorado company there that's super amazing that I'm inspired by them. So White and Reverie. So they are super cool people. Nice little boutique. But yeah, anyways, like, yeah, it's definitely, though, if you guys want me, then I will definitely come. Don't get me wrong, but those guys they are the people that inspire me to how I shoot weddings. So
That's awesome.
yeah, they are like my biggest influencer. But also they've like their recent wedding they did was Julian's Huff's wedding.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know who Julian Huff
Yeah,
is?
uh-huh.
Yeah. They did her wedding videos.
Wow.
So it's really cool.
Bet her arms look great.
Oh my god! Like they always did like spontaneous
ripped.
like dance like things, and then of course Derek Huff was there, her brother, and like that video is just stunning. Like they literally allowed they allowed them just hanging out for like the whole weekend, and the whole time they were just getting stuff like on the on this like lake on the boat, and then they're just getting like all these cool just B-roll and cinematic shots of just them just hanging out.
I want to look it up right now, but I won't.
Yeah, and she had like, it was crazy because like in the video she had like 3 or 4 different like dresses. She had of course one that had more like a dance feel, then she had her actual wedding dress, but then she had like this like weird like bikini but like see-through like netting dress of some sort to make it look like
Wow.
like,
So it almost
like
sounds
very,
like a
summer.
music video in a way.
It was, oh God, it was insane. It was beautiful. But anyways, guys, the benefits of hiring a photographer that has worked at your venue is that you can see a full wedding capture by that photographer or videographer at your venue. The different shots and places they have taken photos or video. Your photographer will know the venue. They will know the layout, the best places to go for those intimate shots, and just the two of you as a newly married couple. They will know where to capture those best shots for any group photos when you enter for your reception. So like I said, like it is nice to have someone that has been there before, but at the same time, though, we are capable of doing it if we haven't been there. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of at this point, hold on, let me just, this will kind of clear up how to pick, I guess, a photographer. It is also good to see full weddings captured by your photographer at your venue. You can see their style, their type of photos they will take, and what backdrops they use for their photos. Now, when I'm saying backdrops, I'm talking about like actual location backdrops, not like a purple backdrop or a black backdrop. Like I'm talking about like mountains or rivers or lakes or the bridge or like I'm actually talking about legitimate locations. Not only that, but like also feeling the style. This is photographers and videographers are probably like twisting or like twitching because right now because we hate using these words, but ask their style. I know a lot of my buds right now are just like, Ty, what the heck? Why are you saying this? But seriously, ask their style. I know some of you guys are like, what are you talking about? Like, why is that bad? It's just, for some reason, some creative people don't like talking about their style or what they do or how they do it.
Absolutely.
It's, I mean, if you ask me like, Ty, what's your style? I immediately just go storytelling narrative piece. And they're just like, okay. And like, that's all I say. I don't say anything else.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people like, they enjoy that question or that conversation starter, but I'm letting you know, like a lot of photographers and videographers are just like, but definitely ask it.
Yeah. Well, I would say too, like you don't even have to ask it. If you can get like a couple samples of the weddings they've done, you can really see what it is.
You can see like how it's done.
Yeah.
But,
because I mean, the odds are they're just going to give you that bullshit answer like you did.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Oh, my style.
My style, you say? I tell stories.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, there's people, for example, there's photographers that use like minimum white. So it's a very like white driven, that type of exposure. Then you have like ones that very much pull the warm tone. So it's more orange.
Yeah. I'd say that's been the trend more recently is the warmer.
And then you have more of the moody ones where like it has that more mood feel. And then it, for me, kind of a cliche, I guess, answer as well that I always use is depending on the season. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
So if it's like more of a fall, it's going to be more of the warm tones,
Yeah, absolutely.
more the browns, more the yellows, oranges, and the reds.
And I'd say the odds are that's probably what they're looking for with a fall wedding anyways. And so they're going to be happy with what they get.
And then, of course, winter is more of the cool tones and more of the whites, minimum whites, stuff like that's great. Springtime is more greens. You're pulling more of that type of feel. Summer is kind of a little bit of both, honestly, depending on where you're at location-wise. I definitely can see, like, if you're shooting at an ocean, it's going to be more pulling like minimum whites, cool tones, stuff like that because of the ocean.
Yeah.
Depending where you are, it's more of a blue tone and stuff. But then, of course, you go to, I don't know, maybe like a farm or like more of a country. That's going to be more warm because you're going to have more of the fields and more.
That's so interesting. So, I mean, I'm learning a bit here too. So if I were to have a wedding and say I'm having it at a barn, that would probably be the first thing I'd want to say to my photographer or videographer, and then say like, what are you going to suggest or what are you going to lean towards with this particular venue? And you might get a better answer there than just flat out saying, what's your style?
Yeah. And that is actually a great thing. It's a way to kind of get away from the whole what's your style question. It's what type of aesthetic you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's if you're looking for more of a country wedding, so like a barn wedding, or if you're looking for more like urban, that more urban style cityscape feel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but there's going to be not many photographers going to be able to do both. Now, there are people that can do both. I've done it, but there are preferences that I have. And the thing is my portfolio definitely shows it.
Yeah.
And mine's more of the urban, moody storytelling kind of raw feel.
For sure.
So it has that type of landscape. I love like urban. Like my thing is my biggest thing is finding abandoned places and like creating the beauty with that.
Yeah.
So like graffiti, stuff like that. Like I'm kind of that. I mean, like as you can tell, I'm kind of that.
A darker soul.
I mean, you probably should be able to know this by now. But at the same time, though, I've done country weddings. I've done weddings that were out in like Piney Lodge or Herman Hill or just more like that type of feel. And I found ways to adjust and be able to give that still mood feel. But, definitely that's kind of a better way of doing it is making sure like what type of aesthetic you're looking for. So different styles can include more traditional photos that are more formal, great for a group and family shots. A popular style is reporting and documentary. This is more candid and relaxed style. The focus is capturing more natural shots that are not staged or posed, capturing different emotions on the faces of your guest without them knowing the photo is being taken. So kind of in that little paragraph is not only this look of the actual style of the photos or videos with like the color, but also you want to try to find photographers and videographers that kind of associate with who you are as a person. So if you're very much of like an outgoing person, or like you like to talk to people, or you're very just up and bubbly, more of an extrovert, like you're going to want to find a photographer and videographer that has more of this, like more of shots that involves candid, because I'm not going to lie, you're not going to like having a timeline where you're going to be doing so many like posy shots because that's not who you are. You as a person are somebody that's wanting to basically be adventurous, be outgoing. You want to talk to people. You want to do things like that. So you want to find a photographer and videographer willing to get good candid shots of you just doing yourself and not getting so much controlled by like different posy shots.
Yeah.
So, but then once again, if you're more conservative, if you're more like where you like that order, you like to have like, that massive timeline of things and stuff like that, then definitely find photographers that are good with posing, like posing your family, posing your family formals and your friends formals and stuff like it. You want to find like photographers and videographers that are probably more structured with that type of timeline.
Absolutely.
And the thing is people don't think about that.
Yeah.
And then they have a tendency of when they finally get a booked photographer or videographer, they find out that it's the polar opposite of what they expected.
Yeah.
And then immediately they're just like, well, this person is not, good. And it's like, no, they're not good. It's just not the best fit. And that's why you need to do the research of like, not only how they shoot, the color of their stuff that they do, the type of poses they do and stuff like that. You want to kind of fine tune and figure out what they actually have to offer before booking them, because if, like I said, if you are more of an extrovert and more outgoing, you want to find people that are more candid. If you're more conservative or introvert, like you want to find them that involves with more posing.
Yeah, and something good about that too is if you go with a company, I'll use for an example, Indie Events, with several photographers on staff, when you're kind of talking with who would be me, the sales consultant that's, getting the correct package for you, make those notes so that, we have several different photographers on staff. They all have different style, quote unquote, and personality as well. And we can find the photographer that would be best for your outgoing personality, if that's what you're looking for, or something a little more formal as well. We've got it. We got both ends of the spectrum, and we can make sure that who you're getting is, going to be the best fit for your day.
Yeah, and I agree with that. With indie events, how they do it is kind of backing off what or kind of adding what you said. The company alone, for at least the photographer side, they have multiple different photographers that have different styles that we will be able to in sync or connect with you for the things that you're looking for. If you have like certain needs or certain wants for the day, we have somebody for you. And that's the main goal for indie events. But then at the same time though, for the video side, at least, we are very universal for styles as well, where we're able to capture it however you want it. And we're very strong shooters to be able to do that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
But yeah, basically kind of wrapping all of this part, view different styles to find one you like in a way you would like your day captured and how you would like your wedding day story told. The key is to find a photographer or a videographer and their work that you love. It is important to make sure you get on with them too, and that you feel comfortable and relaxed around them. The more comfortable and relaxed you feel with them, the more relaxed you will feel when you're having your photos or video taken. This makes you more natural and fun photos. If you feel awkward, then it will sadly show in your photos and videos. So not only once you figure out the style and the color and just like everything just in general of like what they have to offer, then start looking at the actual person itself. If you're going for like a boutique person and like they have a certain personality, if they're maybe if you don't like the how headstrong they are, how I guess controlling they could be, like then obviously that's not a good person for you. If you want a more relaxed person that kind of lets you do your thing and they just get candid stuff, then definitely get that. Like find someone that hits perfectly for you guys. Like it's because it's going to show. There's been multiple times where I've shot a wedding where the bride and groom, they're very like conservative and just they wanted more posy stuff, and like don't get me wrong, like I did it and everything was fine, but like you could tell that they were awkward because I was trying to get them to do like some twirls or them like running in slow motion or like activities and things that I thought were going to be great to have in video, but then at the end of the day they were just not wanting to do it, and you could tell, but they weren't saying like, hey, we don't want to do it.
Right.
They were just like kind of going with emotion,
right.
Like, okay, like he wants us to do it, but when we try to do something like them like running while they're holding their hands or something, you can just tell that it was super awkward because that's not their personality. Yeah. So to avoid that, definitely look and see their final products of like, does it match who you are as a person?
Yeah, I've been suggesting to a lot of our brides too that to book us for not only their wedding day, but for their engagement session as well, because we can send out the photographer that will be there for their wedding day to kind of start developing a relationship to get them like comfortable to see what their style is so that they can see what our style is both ways. But then also on the day, like the biggest day of your life, your wedding day, you're going to see a familiar face coming in, someone you already know and have a relationship with that's going to be shooting that day. And that should put your mind at ease a little bit. You know this person, you know that you trust them with the biggest day of your life and capturing all those moments.
No, I agree with that. And especially because you should be booking them out a year or two, you should, while you're doing that, or book them for a year out, you should be talking to them. You should be kind of like coming with ideas and stuff like that. Maybe do an engagement session, which I will talk about that later on. Like, you need to like figure out if they're going to be a good fit. Like, you at the day comes, they should be walking in and it should be like, you guys been best friends for years.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's kind of hard, is because I remember I worked at a company where I didn't know the names of the couple until that day. I went to the company's spot, we grabbed the gear, there will be a timeline and their name will be on there. And I'll be like, all right, so it's, Steve and Jessica. And I'll come in and I'll be like, hi, like, I'm looking for Jessica. And like that, I have 40 seconds, or not even 40 seconds. I have like 30 seconds to just try to build and connect with this person and try to connect with them, which I did. It was easy. I mean, like, I'm a very outgoing person. I feel like I'm likable. So like it for me, it's easier, but for others, it's not a good job for, anybody that's not willing to kind of speak up. Yeah. So yeah, it was hard because you have to connect. You have to kind of feel the room. You got to feel like who they are as a person. You got to figure out, okay, they're a little more introvert. They're not really like talkative. So my poses and like my shots are going to be a little more posy. Mm-hmm. Or if I'm like, okay, they're slamming down their 15th mimosa and they're going crazy and just having fun and stuff like that, then I know, all right, this is going to be fun. I'm going to be able to get some cool, exciting shots. But yeah, it is good to meet with your photographers or videographers if possible, so you can see how they get with you guys. It is also good so that you can also see full edited and completed wedding albums or videos they have done. When viewing these, you want to see high quality photos and videos throughout the album. You are looking for consistency. You don't want just a few really amazing photos and then a mix of a lot of fill-ins for the rest of the albums. So you want to make sure you're spending well with your money, because I'm not going through prices because the prices are all over the place. Mm-hmm. For packages and stuff like that. So I'm not going to hit that, sadly. But you need to see, is it going to be worth it for you? Are those packages that they have offer, or the photo albums you're looking at, are there like some like 4 or 5 just good ones? And then the rest of them just like are fill-ins, meaning like they're just be in there? Or is the whole album page to page, you're just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. You got to have that wow factor the whole time.
Best $2,000 I ever spent.
And it's just like, you want to have that feeling. You don't want to be like, oh, that's cool. 4 pages later. Oh, that's
there's another good one.
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then, you want to have the whole, like, wow, just the whole time. And the same thing with the video. Like, I know that's why I try to make it more of a short film, so the whole time is an actual story. But sometimes these people who do video, they do like a montage video where it's just composited all these videos with some music in the background. And like, it's garbage to me, honestly. I just don't like that type of style. I mean, if you do that, that's fine. But like, that's not me. Like, if you want a story that's telling your whole day, adding vowels, adding like letter reads, or adding like a whole type of like narrative piece, then that's me. That's who you should book. But there's tons of times where I've seen like montage videos where they're good, but then like you have all these like random photos and videos in there. Yeah. I'm just like, why are they in there? So With your wedding budgeting being used on hiring a professional photographer, it is also worth thinking about having an unplugged wedding. Having your guests not take photos throughout the ceremony and just enjoying the moment when you allow your photographers to do what they do best, and for your guests to be there with you and not behind their camera or phone. So I have a TED Talk, I guess you would say, about unplugged weddings.
You have a strong opinion.
I have a very strong opinion about this. If you are spending roughly $3,000 to $5,000 on a photographer and videographer that's capturing your day, and it is the ceremony time, they're going to have the photographer is going to have a lead themselves if they're just by themselves, but normally time they'll have like an assistant. And then the videographer is going to be, himself, or he's going to have maybe an assistant. So there's going to be 4 people potentially with cameras getting the ceremony. So you have 4 different angles or 2 different angles of the ceremony that's happening. You do not need Aunt Susie or whoever in the middle of the aisle with her tablet out or her phone out, capturing the ceremony, the whole ceremony, and getting in the way with the photographer or videographer. Why would you spend that much money and have people ruin it and try to get a camera photo of a potential angle that the photographer could use and get an even better quality image of that?
Yeah, and edit it and all that good stuff.
It infuriates me. And the thing is it's not even becoming phones anymore. It's becoming massive tablets. Yeah. It's becoming big iPads out in the aisle, and they're in my shot. And then, of course, the bride and groom's like, why is this in the shot? And I'm like, well, because she got in front of me, and this is the only angle that I have. And then they get mad at them, and then that's just how it is. It's just that's what the quality is going to be. So you need to tell your guest, hey, we hired these people to get photos and videos done. You're going to see them. So they could literally live for about 10 minutes without their phones. They don't need a photo. They don't. Like, if you want them to take photos with their phones, then don't hire a photographer or videographer. That's how I feel about it. Like, I'm sorry, but you may not be like, whoa, Ty, like you're hitting this hard and like you're not being nice about it. Well, guess what? Like, it infuriates me when you hire me, then all of a sudden there's somebody with a phone in front of me getting the same angle, and I can't do my job. Like, you hired me for that. Why do you have this person in front of me doing it? Yeah. Also, why do you have somebody that's an uncle or aunt or a cousin or whoever that's sitting there in front of photographers with their own camera gear getting photos? If you wanted to hire them, then why did you not hire them? Like, no, this is not their time to get a portfolio piece. It's not their time to get in front of us. If you hired us, then obviously you need to tell people like, hey, like, we hired these people, get away from them and like, just get out of our way. That's how we could do our job. Like,
not to mention, why does Aunt Susie need a damn picture of you?
I don't know. And this is what it is. So just make sure, like, if you're spending thousands of dollars, because they're not cheap. Like, I'm sorry, guys, if it's not cheap. I mean, you could find people out there. Like, my first wedding I ever did, I think I made like $500. I mean, like, but the thing was, that was my first wedding. And I told them, and they knew that. They knew it. And also, it was a family. It was family. So, like, I was just like, I would love to do this. And the thing was, like, I wasn't expecting to get anything from it. They actually ended up paying me $500. But, like, to me, that was a good amount, because at the time that was what I was worth. Yeah. That was my worth. That was my net worth. I
didn't have the experience.
I didn't have the experience. Yeah. I didn't have the portfolio. I didn't have anything. So that was my worth of pay.
You get what you pay for.
But then you got some people that are out here that are doing 10 grand I know a photographer out here in St. Louis that she is 10 grand and she will only do 10 weddings. So like the thing is though, her quality is that much money.
Yeah.
She's giving you that wow album from cover to cover. Mm-hmm. You're not getting fill-ins. So it money talks, just letting you know. So if you need to budget it out. If you want really good photos, if photos and videos are very meaningful for your family and you want those, you may want to start saving up for just those. That's how you know that you're getting a company that you want. It should not be a thing to be rushed because it is capturing that day. So
it only happens once.
So definitely meet up with your photographers. Even if it's Zoom, even if it's whatever, just meet up with them. So when you're meeting with your photographers, here are some questions you may wish to ask, as well as things to consider when meeting them. This also works for photographers, and this also works for videographers. So, number one, also get that notepad out because there are some people out there that I've actually heard that are actually taking notes, which is super cool. So yeah, definitely take some notes about this. So here's some questions that you could ask them for this could work universal. I'll definitely tell you guys how to word it differently for a video because it is a little different. So number one, can I view some finished and complete albums? Or can I view some finished and complete videos? So this is a great question to ask of like, this is their portfolio time. They should be already like hitting you with like, here's my albums, here are my photos, here's this or that. Like definitely you should be seeing their work. You shouldn't be hiring anybody until you see something. Mm-hmm. Same thing with video. Like they should have it somewhere on Vimeo, YouTube, just anywhere on nowadays, TikTok, even Instagram.
For sure.
They should have a website, or they don't need a website. I mean, like I don't even have a personal website. I use Instagram as like my website, but they should have at least something to like showcase something. Number two, how many photos should I receive for my weddings? Or how many videos should I receive from my wedding? So for photos, you know, depending on how long the wedding is depending on, you should ask how many photos you should be roughly getting. For videos is a little different. You're not getting raw footage. Everybody that I know, including myself, we do not hand out raw footage. What we will do though is in our packages, we will give you a highlight or a cinematic, which means that you're getting a full video from beginning to end. And then what I do is I give you the full ceremony and I give you the full speeches. And then I give you the first dances. That's also kind of works for indie events as well. So in total, you're getting roughly 4 to potential 5 videos altogether, which if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, you're getting roughly almost 4 hours worth of stuff, which is a lot, which people need to understand that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Not to mention, I have people that get upset when they understand that they can't get the raw footage, but we offer packages with 2 videographers that are getting footage all day. You're talking about 8 hours of footage twice. You're talking about 16 hours of footage. That's insane.
Which it's at the end of the day, you have over like 800 different clips. So I don't know what you need 800 different clips, but not all the clips are going to be certain things. Sometimes we have to do creative stuff. So there's going to be like different takes of shooting this cup like 4 or 5 times. Do you really need 4 or 5 different clips of this cup being shot differently? Like you don't need that.
Yeah.
So there's no point of asking for raws. Like you're going to get a final product regardless. How many hours are included in your package? This is crucial. I know that there's some crazy people out there that are like unlimited hours. Well, apparently it works for them, but obviously they didn't understand like realistically that is not how it works. You need to ask them how many hours. So if you got to sit down with the timeline, try to figure out the whole day of like what you're doing on that day, which average between 8 to 12 hours. It's just how it is. A normal time, we're going to be there for 10 hours. I've realized like that's pretty much a full day. Then we do half a days where if you're only doing like maybe a Friday, you're only doing like 6 hours, then you may want to ask them. Some people may not like that because it may be a smaller package for them. And some people just don't like doing that. They like full days. So you want to make sure that it's accommodated for like what you're looking for. How long after the wedding should it take to see my photos or even videos? So sorry to burst your bubble, but you're not the only wedding that they have. So meaning that just because you got it done on Saturday does not mean you're going to get photos and videos on Monday. That does not how it works. We work in weeks out, meaning that the wedding that I'm actually editing this week was shot 3 weeks ago. It's because that's just how it works. I am every single weekend. There's always a wedding being shot, and we're always, a certain week. This is how it is.
Yeah, some weekends have 3-4 weddings in that weekend, and Tyler's only one person. So
I'm actually a singular editor for our video team. So meaning that if we have 3 people out for that weekend, all for 3 different weddings. So I eventually have to edit those weddings, which I normally can knock out 2 weddings a week. But at the same time, though, like normally for us, you will get your videos in about like 3 to 4 weeks, give or take. Photos is probably about the same thing, about 3 or 4 weeks. But definitely ask, how long should it take? And normally time, you're going to hear pretty much everyone, it's going to be a month out.
Yeah. Especially if you're in busy season, especially.
Now, there are some people that will do like a teaser, like album, where they may composite maybe like 5 or 6 photos and give it to you that week. I know some people that do that, which is fine. I have also seen people on video side that will do a quick teaser. That is fine as well. You just have to communicate with your people to see what they have offer, because, it just depends.
Yeah.
Let's see here. How long? No, I just said that. How will I receive my images or videos? USB drive, download, album, etc. So like you want to make sure to ask them like how are you getting those type of images or footage? What happens if you are ill? Is there going to be any emergency? Definitely. This is a kind of a time to talk about it. Talk about COVID situations here. Like I know I don't try to bring up that word as much as possible for our podcast, but it's just, that's how it is. We are in it. We are in an industry that relies on what's going to happen in the world. And if there's a pandemic happens, we're shutting down, sadly. So it's just, that's how it is. So definitely ask, if somebody gets ill, is there going to be a replacement? Is there going to be somebody that's able to take over for that? These questions are very crucial to be asked. So when you're looking at a photographer's website, they will display some of their best photos. So however, you want to see this consistently throughout the whole album of that wedding. High consistent quality is what you want. So kind of like rephrasing what we said a couple of times ago is you want to make sure that you see consistency in the work. You don't want to see like really, really good photos or 2 or 3 photos are great. And then all of a sudden there's like 10 or 20 after that are just not good quality. They're just fill-ins. Once you have found a photographer or a videographer you love, and they are free on your date, and you love their work and get well with them, then you should probably book them. Many photographers are booked up to over a year in advance. Some of the best will take bookings for weddings to even 2 years out. So don't leave it until the last minute. Once you know your date, look to get your photographers and videographers booked. Do not hesitate on booking them. I'm telling you, there has been tons of times. This happened in 2019. I had a person that was just like, I love your quality so much. I love your style. I love everything about you. My wedding is on October 19th. I was like, all right, cool. Give me a down deposit and then I'll block out the day for you. She goes, okay, I'll definitely will do that. Nothing happened. Weeks passed by again. And then all of a sudden a newer person's like, hey, I love your stuff. I love your work. I have a wedding on September 19th. I would love to book you on this day. I go, cool. Drop down your deposit on me and then we're good to go. Sure enough, the newer person gave me the deposit. And it's good to go. So I black out that day. A month later, which is in August, this person's wedding's in October. She calls me up again and goes, hey, I'm ready to drop that deposit down for you. And then I sadly have to tell her I have to decline because somebody came and was able to, give a deposit down first. You don't want that to happen. Now, luckily enough, I was able to find a videographer for her that has the same style as like me, I guess you would say. And they were happy about that, and that was fine. They were a little bit sad that I wasn't able to do it because they were a person that I've done like weddings for, that they were a part of, and they just liked who I am as a person.
Yeah.
But at the same time though, photographers and videographers can't wait. Like, this is our job.
Yeah.
This is how we get paid. This is how we live life. If you are not willing to give us the deposit right then and there, then we have to move on. We have to keep looking. So it's sad to say, like, even though we love everybody and we would love to get everybody's booked, but you're not the only one getting married on that day. Just plain and simple. So book in advance. Which brings, again, another great way to kind of like help you figure out if they're a great fit, or even just in general, just building that connection or just relationship with your photographer, is what about an engagement session or like an engagement shoot? Once your photographer is hired, you may wish to consider an engagement shoot. Some photographers includes this in part of their packages. However, if not, you may wish to ask your photographer about such a shoot. It is a great opportunity to get some professional photos of you both before getting married. And it's also a great way to get used to being in front of a camera as well as working with your photographer. The shoot can help you feel more confident and more relaxed, and help when it comes to your wedding day and having your photos taken. You can use it as a pre-run and a practice. It's a great way to help with different poses and just feel more relaxed in front of the camera. So this is like literally the best way to like figure out like, A, is this photographer a good fit for me? B, what type of poses I may want? C, like, like there's just so many just different opportunities that you could get with an engagement session, because you don't want at your day wasting time and trying to figure out what's the best pose or what the best feeling it is for you, because like on your day, there is a strict timeline. It's going to be hard to get things done. And it's pretty dicey with that. Like, there's not much flexibility unless you have like all day to do it. So engagement sessions allow you to like just get that type of kind of jitters out, just making sure that, this is the best fit for you. And then also just getting more relaxed, because not everyone is a model and they've never really been in front of an actual camera. It's different with a phone camera. Like when you're taking a photo at a bar or something with a phone, like, you're just taking a quick, pose or whatever, and that's it. But when you're sitting there and you have somebody directing you and like telling you to put your hand on her, on her cheeks, or like make sure that you're, hugging or giving forehead kisses or whatever, like it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
It is kind of awkward at the beginning where you're, you could tell some people are not comfortable with it, because when you're just like, all right, give them a kiss. And then like, some people are really weird with PDA, which I get. It's not a familiar thing to do unless you are exposed to it. So your photos and videos tell your story. Your wedding videos and photos are one of the few things that will be left once your day is over. Your photos and videos will be your memories of the day that you can relive your special day. There is certainly something special about viewing your wedding videos and photos in a few weeks after your wedding day. Getting to relive it all again once and then sharing them with your families and friends. Photographers and videographers is so important. It is one thing that helps treasure, store, and share those memories and moments of your day. It tells a story, and sometimes something that you can look back over in years to come. Make sure you take your time to find a wedding videographer and photographer you love, and also make sure you get them booked.
I have a couple weird questions for like photographers and videographers, so maybe you can kind of add to this or answer. So one question some people really should ask is, will these photos be posted on their social media accounts? If you're not comfortable with that, I would say explicitly say so, because we tend to use a lot of the photos that we have to keep our social media fresh and to showcase what our photographers and videographers do. But if you're not comfortable with that, you definitely need to say so.
Yeah, you want to make sure it is clear, because kind of you got to watch out, because some contracts allow, without even knowing, that there is going to be a paragraph of some sort that talks about like photo release or even video release, where they could use it, or they try to put it in like competitions and stuff like that. So there's times where you don't know that the photos could be shared in different countries. They could be shared in like different competitions, different conventions, like especially like bridal shows and stuff like that. Like it could be spread out. So like, and also it's gonna be online, and it's gonna be on social media. It's gonna be shared. It's gonna be whatever. Like you got to make sure like you're comfortable with that. If you're not, then definitely be like, hey, like I want to hire you, but I definitely don't want you to broadcast my photos out, because I don't feel comfortable with it, or I just want to be more intimate, for my family and friends.
Absolutely, which is totally fine. You just have to make sure that you say so.
You just have to communicate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
bouncing off of that is also to ask about the copyright of your photos. A lot of people actually, photographers, videographers, do not release the copyright of those photos and videos to you specifically. We at Any Events are a company that do release them, but we do include watermarks on our online photos and all of our videos. So that's something to consider too. If you're really like, you do not want that, just make sure that you're asking those questions.
Yeah, you definitely want to communicate that, because you want to make sure that you have kind of the rights to do whatever you want to do with the photos. For videos, a little different. Like normally time they allow you to share it and stuff like that, and you get a copy of it regardless. So it's a little bit harder to do video. Now, this is kind of backtracking with what I said with the whole RAW situation. That's why we don't hand out RAWs. It's because we have control of the RAWs, but then like we give you guys a final product, and then once that's done, then you kind of just use it for whatever you want to use it for. We may at the end slap our like production company name or something like that, but like we don't really there's not really a way to watermark it. Photos are a little different. Photos, for some reason, it's harder to kind of control for some reason, and they're used more for certain things. So definitely you want to make sure that you're able to go to a Walgreens and be able to have the rights to be able to print out a 5x7 if you want to, than to having to go to a specific place or have to go back to that company just to get a print. Like you want to make sure that you are educated and make sure that you're communicating and asking them like, what are your copyrights for said project?
Absolutely. Yep. And then I just have a couple weird questions for you, Tyler.
For me? Yeah. Fun.
So what do you suggest bride and grooms to do if they have a rainy wedding day?
A rainy wedding day. Well, first off, a myth says if it rains on your wedding day, it's actually good luck. So you should be seeing it as a positive thing and not a negative thing. That's one.
I think that's a myth. I think that was designed for a bride that was going crazy, and someone was like, no, did you hear that it's lucky?
So if you really want my opinion is to embrace the rain, allow it to not ruin your day. And how I'm going to say this is, if you know you are at a location or a destination, or you know that there's potential rain on the day, what you want to do is try to find some clear umbrellas. And the reason why is because your photographer and videographer would love this. And it's a cool, creative way of doing this. So if you have some locations that you want to get shot outside and it's pouring down raining, you get some really cool shots under an umbrella that is like kind of like a clear, where you can kind of see through and stuff like that. And you get some really cool, intimate shots with it. I get it. Brides, you're wearing white and you're probably like, Ty, like you don't know how it is and stuff like that. Like you don't understand it. Like I get it. Like it is a dress. It's going to be white and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's going to get dirty. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter how you want to do it. But the thing is if you have one of those trained dresses and stuff like that, it's going to get dirty. It's going to get some sort of twigs and grass and stains and stuff like that. If you're getting outside shots and stuff like that, it's going to get dirty regardless. So just kind of embrace the rain. I get it. you may want to have it nice during like the ceremony, before the ceremony, I mean, and then when the ceremony is done, maybe you have like a mobile shoot, or like you're going to different locations getting shots, and then all of a sudden it's starting to pour down rain. I get it that it's, you know, you don't want to destroy the dress, but at the same time though, like, when are you going to honestly wear it again? Now, if it's different, if it's like an heirloom dress that's been passed down generations and generations, that, you know, your family's been wearing it for decades, and it's very important for your family and stuff, like, by all means, like, obviously treat that dress very nicely, and it's obviously a meaningful thing. And you may be thinking like, well, I just bought this $10,000 dress and it's still meaningful to me. I want to make sure it's nice and clean. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's fine. If you want to be like that, that's fine. But like, embrace the rain. Like, you're going to get it dirty. You're going to get it wet. I'm not asking you to jump into like a mud pile and start spreading around and like getting it all dirty and stuff. Same thing with tuxedos. If you're renting a tuxedo, I've worked at Men's Warehouse. I've seen some tuxedos being turned in and they were trashed, and they don't care. That if you read the actual terms and conditions on the back of the paper when you're getting your measurements done, like, I have those things memorized. I still do till this day. And if you go through the actual terms and conditions on the back of the page, it says you can literally do whatever you want as long as you don't set it on fire or you have a rip or tear more than 2 inches. I know what it says. I had to read it every single day. You go down to every single one of what that back of the paper is, especially if you're going for the Men's Warehouse. I know exactly what the terms and condition is said. And so as long as you're not jumping over a big, huge Coachella fire pit or you're, you know, going through like a weed whacker or some sort or something like some shredder or something and shredding up the tuxedo, you're fine. I've received tuxedos back on Sunday, drenched from swimming pools. I've seen them smell like straight alcohol and just liquor and just, I don't know. I've seen the worst. I've seen throw up on them. I've seen everything.
It's a long day.
Like, it's just, it's going to happen. Like, especially rentals. I get it. The dresses are a little different. If you're kind of strict about it, that's fine. But I'm just telling you right now, just embrace the rain. There are ways to get some cool shots, even if it's raining. There are ways to get stuff done.
Okay, I got one more quirky question for you.
Bring it.
Is there a certain makeup, as a videographer, is there a certain makeup that you would suggest people lean to or even away from?
It's mainly more clothing as opposed to makeup. Makeup is a little different. I mean, like, to help you out, it definitely ask some makeup artists if you could find ones that, like, let's say if you are a little bit more on the pale side, especially if you're during like in the summer and if it's hitting you, it's going to kind of whitewash you out.
Right.
So if you have more of a lighter complexion, I would definitely ask for the said makeup artist to try to give you a makeup where it won't like gloss over or like have some sort of like harsh lighting on you, because it can give you like a weird shine for some. But I don't really know the actual names of them, sadly. But I do know that a lot of like airbrush ones are just the ones that they use and different coatings that they use on the morning of. It will help out reduce those type of like whitewashing / exposure hot spots and stuff. But mainly it's color, and it's not color, it's patterns. So like stripes, plaid, some sort of things, especially for the video. You could get some weird like movement, digital movement of it, and it's kind of like
almost looks like static.
Yeah, more like staticky look, and especially if the video guy or girl, if they don't know how to like fix their camera from like how to like, you know, fix it, then it can be a problem. But there's sometimes it's hard to do, because there's been a couple times where there'd be a guy or a gentleman wearing a tie, and it has like this weird like stripe pattern, and it just looks like it's dancing in the video, and like I can't do anything about it. Like, it's just, that's how it is. So I would try to stay away from patterns and just stay more with solid colors or tones, or just things that are not
Interesting.
wild and crazy. But alrighty, guys. Thank you guys so much for listening on this podcast for this episode. Once again, this is the hiring photographers and videographers. Hopefully we kind of gave you guys some information to help you guys out doing that. If you guys have any more questions or concerns or just want to tell us how we're doing, please email us at weddingsmadeperfectpodcast@gmail.com, or you could just comment on our Facebook page, Instagram page, or YouTube videos. We will love to hear from you guys. Once again, if you guys haven't done so already, subscribe on our YouTube page. So that's how I can kind of see how the videos are doing. I know there's been more views on YouTube than Spotify or like the actual just audio version of it, which is fine. That's cool. Obviously, apparently, you guys like looking at me.
Okay. Simmer down.
Simmer down. No, but seriously, guys, it's always great to just see even one view.
Yeah.
Happening.
Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram.
Yep. But once again, guys, this is Ty and Gabby with the Weddings Made Perfect podcast, and we're signing out.